Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and you're watching TTV News, some latest events in the province. And now coming to details. Ladies and gentlemen, after an urgent working day, the National Assembly Standing Committee closed the question and answer session at its 21st session in the afternoon of March 20. In his closing remark, National Assembly Chairman Vu Ninh stated that the question and answer session were held in the democratic, candid, and dynamic atmosphere, attracting the right interest and attention of the people and voters nationally. The rules of issue in the two chosen area for the question and answer session are correct, and they are four topical and important issues, largely related to the requirements of judicial reform, construction and improvement of the legal state socialist rights in Vietnam, which are of interest to National Assembly deputy, people, voter, and public opinion. The National Assembly Standing Committee agreed and recognized the solution and pledges of the Chief Justice of the Supreme People Court, the Chief Procurator of the Supreme People Procuracy, and Minister and branch heads related to question problems. Concerning the tasks and solutions of the two branches in the coming time, National Assembly Chairman Vu Ninh requested that it should focus on developing a contingent of court and prosecutor staff with sufficient qualification, competent, style, and integrity to be truly professional and up to the task in the new situation. In addition to supplementing the perfecting law, it is necessary to focus on fostering and updating knowledge in order to meet the requirements of combating violation and crimes, as well as solving cases of a specific nature such as bankruptcy, property ownership, intelligence, and justice for the minors. In addition, firmly enforce the party and state regulation on measures to check power, prevent and combat negativity and corruption in the courts and bureaucracy. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Phong, Vice Chairman of the Bronzo People Council, shared the working session with the Department of Education and Training on the implementation of the Bronzo People Council resolution issued from the beginning of the 2021-2026 term to the present on March 21st.
Mr. Bùi Tuấn Hải, Deputy Director of the Department of Education and Training, stated at the meeting that the department has promptly propagated, disseminated, guided, and directed the officers of education and training and educational institutions directly under its management to know and strictly implement the contents of four resolutions on education and training. In general, the resolutions are properly executed. The grassroots study revealed that schools and localities have comprehended legislation and established processes for policy beneficiaries. Nonetheless, the number of recipients remains restricted. The decision of the degree of students assistant under Resolution Number 10 in particular ran into issues with the certification procedure of the unit using employee, where the judge foster parents' work. There are also issues with assistance for instructors working in community-based and private early education institutions because many units have yet to be formed by competent authorities. In fact, completing interpretation of Resolution Number 10's implementation procedure result in beneficiaries not having access to the policy. The delegates urged that propaganda should be promoted, as well as unity in awareness and implementation. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Phong noted the recommendations of members and leaders of Department of Education and Training and suggested that the department's leaders continue to take measures to ensure that the policy is implemented to the right subjects.
Ms. Nguyễn Đề Thi, Standing Vice Chairwoman of the Bronzo People Council, chair and work with the Bronzo Departments of Construction, Planning and Investment, and Natural Resources and Environment, on March 21st to evaluate the specific results of implementing the Bronzo People Council resolution issue from the beginning of the 2021-2026 term. In order to fulfill the urban categorization plan outlined in Resolution Number 46 according to the Department of Construction, TayNinhTV City and Hoa Thanh Town has established an urban development program that has been given opinion and completed by the Minister of Construction. The work of amending the overall master plan is anticipated to be submitted to the Bronx People Committee in March 2023. Goya District has been authority by the Bronx People Committee and is now carrying out the urban development program, which is scheduled to be finished in 2023. The remaining localities are implementing urban general planning in accordance with the plan rules. Following Resolution Number 24, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment has produced a 5-year land use plan for TayNinh Province for the period of 2021-2025 and presented it to the Provincial People Committee and the Provincial Standing Committee. Simultaneously, assumed primary responsibility for and collaborated with the relevant department and branches to apprise and submit for approval to the Provincial People Committee the land use planning for the period of 2021-2030. As well as the annual plans of district, town, and city. At closing the meeting, Standing Deputy Chairman of the Bronx People Council Windati stated that the execution of Resolution 46 has been implemented rapidly, and according to the department and branches, it will be finished by 2025. Turn to other news. During a meeting with the Bronx People Council, Mr. Thị Phương Thảo, Director of the Department of Labor, Work, Valley and Social Affairs, stated that over 19,800 persons have received health insurance cards, accounting for over 90% of the subjects who require them.
These subjects are entitled to educational and training assistance plan as well as legal help as required, in addition to health insurance cards. The delegates also defined the coordination work in maintaining the list of beneficiaries, assessing the objects to offer social insurance with health insurance cards, and coordinating car insurance between the labor, work invalid and social sectors, as well as the commute insurance business. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Phong, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People's Council, appreciated the efforts in implementing the Department of Labor, Work Invalid and Social Affairs resolution, satisfying the wishes of voters, and implementing social security locally via the survey. The department has done an excellent job of propaganda in many ways, using favorable effects while also focusing on surveys to ensure that the policy reaches the correct target group, improving the resolution's efficiencies.
Following difficulties and problems in the procurement approach for medical examination and treatment under health insurance, Mr. Trương Dân Hùng, Director of the Department of Health, announced the good news to the people in the morning of March 21st. Bidding for us under package number 1 has been completed. This bidding package contains 185 pharmaceutical goods worth almost 143 billion Vietnam dong. As a consequence, 52 or 55 contractors won the bid with 159 items, totaling more than 93 billion Vietnam dong. TayNinh General Hospital has obtained contracts from 15 different firms for pharmaceutical in package number 1. The hospital is preparing to welcome the first cargoes for medical evaluation and treatment. This facility provides health insurance. According to the procedure, the Department of Health is also urgently implementing bucket 2 for uses at medical institutions in the province in the period of 2022-2024, with 147 items totaling more than 997 billion Vietnam dong. With a big number of items, considerable value, and being implemented for the first time in TayNinh, it is the health sector collective and able to best fulfill the responsibility of caring for and safeguarding people's health.
The Ethnic Language Television Department of VTV5, Vietnam Television Station delegation met with the leaders of TayNinh Radio and Television Station from March 18 to 20, along with practical survey activities to promote the image of TayNinh Land and people on national television. Along with evaluating the coordination and exchange of television routers in the past, the two units discussed and exchanged solutions to further promote cooperation in the production of programs, particularly programs aimed at ethnic minorities, during their meeting with the leaders of the radio and television station. As a result, TayNinhTV province is helping to improve the efficiency of propaganda, the quality of programs, and the promotion of ethnic minorities' distinct cultural values. TTV delegation visited and experienced Baden Mountain National Tourist Area on their business trip. As a result, it has proposed several concepts and themes for TTV to develop news products, articles for national television broadcasts. The delegation also went to Logor Samat National Park. At the conclusion of the business trip, the delegation met leaders of TayNinhTV Portugal Command and Mobile International Portugal Station and shared information. The delegation gained a more comprehensive understanding of the life of officers, jobs, and residents along the province border. There is a lot of information and issues suited for TTV programming in TayNinhTV province. In the following months, we will conduct research and collaborate with TayNinhTV radio and television station to plan production, as well as how to obtain more information on activities in on fields of TayNinhTV province on Vietnam television broadcasting. This business trip not only strengthens the relationship between TTV11 and TTV5, but also opens up chances to promote the image of TayNinhTV and people on national television.
Ladies and gentlemen, at a recent conference in Bình Phước province summarizing the program of socio-economic development cooperation between Ho Chi Minh City and the southeastern province, the province pledged to work together to remove bottleneck, tighten investment cooperation, and comprehensive development in all fields, particularly commerce. The southeastern region in general and TayNinhTV province in particular contribute significantly to the economic and society, not only in the region but also throughout the country. Nevertheless, restriction and deficiency in the region transportation system, infrastructure, or connectivity of province and producing difficulties and harboring general role, particularly for enterprise in investment cooperation and trade connection. Aerated according to the procedure, thus production costs are rated. Hopefully, each supplier can classify products with 5-star OCUP certification, high-quality Vietnamese goods and export standards such as FSSC. They will be supported to support price, which will compensate for the cost that in the production process to make the products more accessible to consumers. In recent years, Ho Chi Minh City has signed an agreement on comprehensive socio-economic development cooperation with all provinces in the southeastern region as a nucleus in regional economic development linkage in order to promote the advantage of geographical location, infrastructure, and external relationship. Implement many programs to support supply-demand connection. In particular, at the conference in Bình Phước summarizing the socio-economic development cooperation program between Ho Chi Minh City and the southeastern province, more than 200 provincial businesses had the opportunity to participate in the meeting, learning and signing cooperation agreements in the production and consumption of goods. To remove barrier in investment cooperation and trade promotion, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Ngọc, chairman of the People Committee of TayNinhTV province, said that at a conference summarizing the socio-economic development cooperation program between Ho Chi Minh City and the southeastern province, that the southeastern province must surely reassess their strength and limitation in order to surely coming up with appropriate solution in investment, exploitation, and development. To attain the certain procedure and policy, particularly exceptional policy, are required so that the Southeast truly in a dynamic broad chance and serve as the country economic locomotive. Consequently, that method and strategy are nothing more than the continued development of decentralization of power for the establishment of regional coordinating bodies in various domains for province and city in the region. It primarily promotes the centralization of planning in the field of plans, building and investment, and there is a framework in place for resource mobilization and localization. It can be seen that focusing on removing obstacles in order to promote regional connectivity, including investment and trade, will enrich connectivity in terms of economic space, natural and economic society, increasing the efficiency of macro and macro management of locality and businesses in the southwest region, creating a competitive advantage and driving for effective and sustainable regional socio-economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for watching and see you next time.